Hello, my name is Gavin Jones, the creator of Realms Asunder. In the coming campaign, we will be playtesting some of the abilities that we'll be using. So some things may feel underpowered or overpowered. We are aware of that and we're working on it. We're also going to probably be covering some darker themes for a more mature audience, so be warned of that ahead of time. I hope you enjoy Realms Asunder, The Threads of Destiny.
My stories are catalogued within these pages of my journal. Eons ago, I was tasked with recording the events that occurred as I travelled across the many worlds and realms. Throughout the ages, I've seen heroes rise, warlords conquer, and kingdoms fade into mere legend. I've witnessed gods play games with mortals, using them as pawns for their own pleasure, enjoyment, for what they deem as a higher purpose. Threats larger than comprehension loom within the realms. One tale emerges from the annals of time, a story of unlikely heroes connected by the threads of destiny. I hope you will find as much enjoyment in their tale as I. Yours, Zerzio Rini.
All right, guys, we are back with episode 15. As you notice, we don't have Reichert today, Eldoran, so he had some technical difficulties, but we will be going forward with the episode anyway. Some things to note before we start. Marcus and I and the rest of the background Realms Asunder team have been working on update 1.4. We've been technically playtesting in 1.3, which is not released to the public yet. Don't ask me when that's going to happen, because we're going to release 1.4 at some point. So there'll be a few things that have changed, but the core of the system is still the same, and we will let you know when we're going to make 1.4 available to the public. We still have a lot of work to do on it, but we've got some good stuff coming up. Okay, so into the episode. Last time, you guys made
already?
Okay. Oh, see you next time. Into the episode. Oh my god.
Thank God.
So last time, you guys finally made it to Blackash. You tried to get into the library, couldn't do it because you need permission to enter.
Beef.
You ran in. You discovered a tavern to stay in, and a undisclosed information of a location named Beef, which you guys have not visited
know
yet.
what it is. We know.
You had some you went to a blacksmith enchanting shop, which Ellie agreed to work in during some downtime coming up. And you guys ran into a weird dude named Reese.
Witherspoon.
No, not with Reese.
The
No.
famous actress?
Oh my gosh. Okay, you guys had a fun, time, and did not trust him because you've been scarred by other NPCs in the past. I wonder who did that to you.
He was a douche.
Mhm.
Let's be real. He was
He was a douche.
I just wanna slap in some cool NPCs, and what happens? This.
Maybe he was honest, but he was still douchey as shit.
But anyway, you guys, Roy planned a bachelor party for Ghost and Eldoran, who are not getting married. In fact, one of them is already married.
Oh.
And then you guys had a fun time drinking and an interesting bar fight where Ghost really got into the fight and really went after Reese. And out of respect, he used close to his full power against Ghost, leaving him unconscious.
Only 70% of my power.
Wasn't even his full
It
strength.
wasn't even his final form.
How does that make you feel, Ghost?
Like my full power.
Didn't do it again.
You guys found he had left you 6 library passes in Ghost's pocket. And if you guys have anything, if anyone has anything they would like to do before they go to bed tonight, or if not, we can just move on.
I say my prayers and light an incense candle.
I'm trying to remember the 3 rooms that we got.
Yeah,
It's one queen bed, or are there multiple beds?
It's 1 bed per room.
Okay.
I believe that's what we discussed.
Okay. So Ghost and Eldoran are getting snuggly.
No Dutch ovens.
I mean,
Everyone being nice.
I mean, to be fair, like the inns you guys are used to sleeping in are, I mean, Kalmia wasn't bad because actually Twiddlewink's place was not the greatest. But usually they don't even have like this big of a bed. So like these beds are a little bit nicer than what you're used to.
Mm-hmm.
Aralea's taken a bath.
Okay.
Oh. A little bit of a soap. Yeah, I lit a candle for you. You're welcome.
Isn't there the bath
Yeah, you guys got the rooms on the 3rd floor, so there's like a private like bath area for only people who rent those rooms. So when you go in there, it's set up. There's like a couple tubs, places to rinse off and stuff like that. Hot water is brought up to you. Right now, since it's so late at night, and there's still a bit of a ruckus downstairs, but it's quieted down quite a bit since you guys went upstairs. But the water's warm. You're the only one in there, so you can take as much time as you like.
Play some royalty-free spa music, Gavin.
I don't have royalty-free spa music currently.
What is this production? Oh my god.
Why are we even here?
Listen, you jerks, okay? It takes me time to set up music, okay?
My immersion is broken. And you suck.
Oh, we love poking the DM.
So
I don't.
yeah, I was gonna say, you poke a bear.
Oh, please.
Get killed and have to be revived.
So, anyone else want to do anything? So, Erleia's in the bath. Ellie's.
I'm lighting candles in the bathroom. No.
Okay.
Now I'm into it.
Ooh.
All right. So you guys are you're setting in a mood and ambiance in the bathroom.
Yeah.
It's like very candlelit. There's like some like nice like sage burning. It's It's a pleasant.
I'm getting rid of the demons.
That is a good thing to do in this place.
It kind of mixes with the steam a little bit and kind of spreads throughout. It kind of soaks into your pores. It's very nice. Okay. Anyone else?
Poking Ghost to see him alive.
Ghost after carrying him upstairs, I would say probably an hour or 2 after he's knocked unconscious, you wake up and your head feels like it's a splitting headache in your head. And you don't really remember. The last thing you remember is being touched, just like gently touched with a palm, and then black.
Okay.
And you see Roy and Nick standing over you. I assume Nick's in there as well.
Scoutmaster Kevin?
Unless you're doing something.
I guess I would. I was gonna clean up or help clean up the bar area.
I imagine you guys helped briefly with that and then went upstairs. Like this is a little bit later in the night.
Yeah, I will be staying longer to clean up.
Okay.
Oh, you want to hang out with the barkeep, I see.
Jack is, could learn about Jack's backstory.
Pale Milba.
Quite buff.
Ghost, you got fucked up. Okay.
Good talk.
Good talk, bud.
Oh my god.
Like you would have done any better in that fight.
I wasn't trying to fight him. That was more for fun. Cool.
That's
All right,
sexual tension.
What time of the night is it?
It's-
as with Ghost waking up.
It's probably close to like 11 o'clock, so it's pretty
Okay.
late.
Nick will be sitting. How busy is it after the fight dies down? Does it clear out by 11?
Yeah, I
Or
would say
there's-
by 10, 11, people are starting to like, pack up, go home, make their way out of the inn. Some of them do make their way upstairs because they are staying here. A lot of people here are, people who travel, captains of ships, stuff like that. So a lot of them have rooms here. But the few that don't do kind of start leaving. So there's maybe, I don't know, a couple tables still remaining of people. The area's a mess. There's definitely some broken things. But it's not. Tables were kind of pushed out of the way, and other than like a few people, Ellie, and a few other people swinging chairs around and stuff like that,
I feel attacked.
there wasn't really a whole lot of like damage. A lot of these like tables are really sturdy and like well made. So overall, not as bad as you'd expect.
Blame it on all the
bad is
WWE I watch.
How much is what?
How much is the tab for the broken furniture? That's for us right now.
Oh, don't worry, we'll get to that.
What?
That's not on you though. That's on who
They
started it.
didn't see shit. I'm gonna blame it on the
She
other.
told you the prices of what it cost to replace them.
It's not judging by what you see, it's not going to be as bad. It's not going to be too terrible. But there's a few things that need to be replaced.
I think not. I think we're good.
Nick will be staying like in a corner booth or table area for most of the night.
Okay.
He has his book out in front of him with a pen, quill in his hand. And it's just an inch away from the paper. But he can't figure out what to write. What letters to send out to. Thinking of everybody who he almost lost or would not be able to talk to again. He's not sure on how to tell them what happened. But he also doesn't want to go to bed. He is afraid to close his eyes, to lose himself in the darkness. So, well, he will. What's the barkeep's name again?
Jack.
He will go up to Jack. Excuse me. I'm gonna try to let my roommate sleep soundly tonight. Is there another room on the first floor I could rent out for the night?
Yeah, I can get you a room. Do you want a room on the third? Well, so there's rooms on the second and rooms on the third. Where the rest of your group is staying is on the third. Second
is fine.
Okay. Yeah, it'll just be. You look pretty rough. Tell you what, just for tonight. Do you want it just for tonight, or do you want it for longer? Do you think you're gonna want it for longer than that?
I'm probably gonna want it for longer.
Take tonight for free, and I'll it'll be 3 gold after that.
Appreciate it.
So she hands over a key to you, and pushes forward just like not a full like pitcher of like ale, but like, a decent nightcap to you on the house.
Thanks. Nick will He'll stare at it for a second, then take it with him to his room.
Okay.
And in there, he will still continue to stare at his book until he flips over to the back pages where there are a couple of unsent letters to one person, and he's gonna write to them.
Okay. So, eventually, Nick, you finish up your letters. You make your way into an uneasy rest.
If possible, I would rather go for an exhaustion.
Okay. Make a vitality saving throw for me to see if you can basically resist the pull of sleep, because you are still pretty exhausted from the events of the last couple days.
Sure. 6.
Okay. You don't find your way to bed. There's like a little writing table in the room that you're sitting next to. You try to keep your eyes open. The night darkens to midnight, 1, 2. About 3 or 4 in the morning, your eyes just give out on you. Your body being completely exhausted from the events of just even the simple bit of walking and stuff, the days your body spent dead just are draining on you. You haven't quite fully recovered your stamina from them. And you find your way into a pool of black water. You're trying to swim up, but you just don't have the strength. And as you sink beneath the surface, you see small silver lines, threads, connected and pulling at your joints. They start tugging and pulling in different directions, and you feel almost like you're being pulled like a puppet. You try to pull and rip them away, tear them off, but as you do, you're swimming and fighting and struggling. You make your way back to the surface, but you can't push past. It's solid and clear like glass. On the other side, you see a older, probably mid-40s male figure and a boy on his knees. The older man is kicking and punching and beating the boy. And you look into his eyes, and there's an instant as you keep trying to pull and fight and watch where you see this almost burning red anger come to life in the boy as he catches the man's fist and with one hand reaches out and rips out the man's throat. You are then ripped away, pulled and tugged back into this blackness. And as you pull through, you see images come to your mind. A city on stilts in water. A traveling cart being pulled. And lastly, this glowing orb of blue and almost fog that sits in the midst of a dark room that you can't make out. When you open your eyes, You're seated on a field. A man stands above you, bald, with monk's robes and a red sash. You reach out to grab his shoulder, knowing who it is, but as he turns, you see behind him the green fields, the trees instantly die. Fires alight. Nothing of life left, just death and destruction. A deep, unnatural voice fills your head with laughter. And the voice gets so loud, you try to cover your ears. You almost feel like they're bleeding from the intensity of this. And before your head feels like it's going to split open, you are tackled to the ground by something. You see, standing over you, a tiger. And as it looks down, you see a third eye embedded in its forehead. All right. You wake up, Nick. It is probably close to 6 or 7 in the morning.
I wake up screaming.
I will... No, you're pretty far away from them, so... You don't feel rested. You don't feel like you slept at all. You're covered in a cold sweat. It's dripped onto the parchment of the letter that you wrote last night. So there's splotches in some places.
I'll put my stuff into my bag. Take everything with me.
Okay.
And go to Roy and I's room.
Okay. Roy, you wake up about the time Nick walks in. Pretty decent sleep. You're feeling pretty good, actually.
Hell yeah.
Nick,
You look like shit.
I just went out for my morning run. I wanted to come back so we could train together, you know? You seem a little scrawny for that spear. So come on. Let's go find a training area.
Can I insight to see if he runs?
you can.
Not the rest of it.
You can insight, sure. Sense intent roll for me, please.
16.
16. Nick, make a deception check for me.
22.
Roy, you can see there's sweat on Nick's face. It looks like he could have been out for a light jog in the morning. It's still pretty early, but just by the general appearance, you can also tell that, he didn't get a whole lot of sleep.
Right.
So.
Okay.
Gotta get up at the crack of dawn, right? Get some good
I
training.
hate people like you.
Come on.
Alright, I'll grab my spear and I'll get dressed.
Your actual spear?
Well, yeah, I put it
Okay.
I don't sleep with it on my back.
Yeah. I was making sure you're grabbing your real spear too. Okay.
And then I'll wipe my hands off as I put it on my back.
Okay.
You're muted.
So I want to try to find like a training area or like an open area that we can work out.
Sure. Easy enough. It's a little ways away from the inn. You guys are in the the lower dock-esque area. I have to look up what Blackash's district. It doesn't matter. You guys have to go a little ways away, kind of towards the edge of town. There's no like walls on the edge of Blackash. All the walls are towards like the keep and the school. Those are the areas that are walled off and protected by like natural defenses like cliffs and stuff like that. You end up finding a pretty decent area kind of on a hillside overlooking the bay that's open. It looks like there might be some people that train here, but not there are no other people right now.
What kind of routines did you go through with the military?
Yep. Learned how to thrust with my spear out. I got like kind of actually like think back. Most of my training was with my father. Just kind of learning how to use the spear in general. Once I got into the academy, I'd fucking drop my pen. Then we'd go on more like routine stuff.
Okay. Well, I have my daily routine. Go through some forms, go like strength training, and then some light sparring. And
yeah, I'll do the sparring part.
All right. So I'll do my routine.
Okay.
Kind of a mix of martial arts forms and weight training, push-ups, squats. If there are any heavy objects, I'll try to squat some of those too.
Okay.
Just
some
stuff I learned.
Serious workout montage.
So Roy, with all these other things, you watch as Nick performs this almost beautiful like kata routine where he moves in these very intricate martial arts patterns in a slow and deliberate way before striking in certain aspects. It's reminiscent of how he sort of fights in combat, but it's definitely got a different... Bless you. I thought you were gonna sneeze. It's almost got it's nothing like you've seen before. It's different, and it's definitely not from anywhere in Brathland you know of.
Some fancy footwork you got there. I'm gonna throw my light spear at the wall and then summon it back.
Okay.
Yeah, this is something my master put me through every day for years. It's kind of ingrained into me. I've been meaning to ask you, but you kind of answered. So you learned how to use a spear from your father. How did you come about this spear of light?
It just kind of came to me a couple of years back. I don't really know why or how, to be honest with you.
Can I sense intent?
Sure. Just make a sense intent roll.
9. Oh,
See.
wait. 10.
Okay, seems pretty straightforward about it.
All right.
I thought I was gonna have to roll.
Nope. Because I know how your spear came to be.
Just in case you wanted to know, I rolled a 2.
It doesn't matter. You would need a higher. Adrian would have needed a higher roll to have a chance.
I just wanted everyone to know that I still suck at rolling.
Oh, we know.
We know.
All right.
Hey, you've gotten a 16 and a 10 so far. You're doing pretty good today when
Not
we don't
too
have
bad.
combat.
Those are going to be his best rolls all
Yep.
session.
Yeah. Spear and shields are a good combo. Used a lot in the military. The defensive wall in front while the spearmen strike from behind them. It's something that's used quite a lot in militia as well. I wasn't sure on if you came from militia or military when we first met. What made you choose a spear? Was it your father?
I mean, most of the soldiers use the spear and the uh, where am I from? The Watch.
From the
Neighborhood
Watch.
The Neighborhood Watch.
The Brathland Bureau of Corruption.
Yep, that. But my brother was particularly good at the spear and just kind of picked up with him through my father's teachings.
Older or younger? Your
Older.
brother. Older. Gotcha. Yeah. So we'll just after I'm done with that routine, we'll do some sparring.
Okay.
I'll kind of try to push him around, get him to exert himself a little bit, so it seems like he's not just trying to shrink out by throwing a spear.
Okay. So you guys spend the morning training. It'll take some time. The rest of you wake up probably around 7 or 8.
Hopefully not in a bathtub. Right?
No. You guys made it to bed perfectly fine. Actually, you two feel pretty good, really relaxed and stuff like that.
Do ya?
You didn't have too crazy much to drink last night, and with the time and like water and stuff like that before bed, you wake up feeling pretty refreshed. Ghost, you've been here before. You'll be okay. There's a little bit of a hangover though and dry mouth.
Yep. Just start in the morning with, a bath and trying to gather himself.
All right. You guys, finish up, get breakfast, stuff like that. Baths if you want them. Pretty good early morning, relaxing. I would say about 8 o'clock, you see sweaty and a little stinky Nick and Roy come back into the inn.
Gross.
On our way back, I did want to ask Roy. So, with me being indebted to each and every one of you for bringing me back, I did want to ask you, what are you trying to accomplish right now? What's your nearest goal?
I haven't really thought about that. I had a goal in mind, but it seems a little out of reach.
Is there anything we can do in town? I know that we're kind of focusing on Ghost and seeing what can be found for the Truth Seeker orb.
Truth Seeker
Ring. Okay.
The ring, Nick.
Ring. Sorry.
You take better notes.
I don't know where this orb came from.
The orb is the Eye of Desla, which is what that Roy was chasing at one point.
Do you know what the orb looks like, Roy?
No idea. I don't think.
I think you did a little bit of research prior, and you've also been warned about it. So you would know that it's almost like this crystal ball-esque orb of like magic. So it's like there's
orb.
It's like
sphere.
It's a sphere. It's
Wow.
it resembles the shape of a crystal ball, and it emanates a lot of magical power. That's basically all you guys know about it, and you've been warned not to go after it.
Does that sound familiar to what I experienced last night?
Make just a general perception check for it. Actually, make an examination check.
That's the same. 17 though.
You draw a pretty clear connection between the glowing orb you saw in your dreams and the description that you guys have got from why can't I think of her name? The fortune teller.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, I don't think did you guys get her name?
Yeah.
At some point in the lost episode.
Valerie.
Ooh.
Valerie, yeah.
Yep. Valerie. Okay. Well.
It's used to bend and twist fate. That's what it can do.
Yeah. Okay. Well. Hopefully we're able to find it if it's still needed. I might know a place, but I'd rather not go. Anyway. If you need anything done, just let me know. I'll help out as much as I can.
Know.
Okay. Please keep it reasonable, or please don't make me steal or kill somebody.
Go to beef.
You need to become the manager of beef.
buy stocks and beef and
You need to become the owner.
screw over the rich.
So
Get on stage.
Yeah.
So, with that, you guys, get your breakfast, get together. You guys have some free time to just chill. Nothing super. I know some people want to go to the library. Some people have other stuff they want to do. Actually, specifically, Ellie, as the sun starts to rise, you think back. You have somewhere
Light
to be.
on fire.
You have somewhere to be this morning.
God!
And you all the rest of you see is the fuck and Ellie sprint out the door.
Later, nerds.
Anybody know what that's about?
You might be on fire, apparently.
She's going to work for the blacksmith that we went and saw.
Oh.
Well, that's not a good impression on the first day.
What, screaming, oh fuck?
No, being late.
I'm gonna take a bath.
Okay.
If you guys want to wait until I'm done, and then we can go to the library.
I'll wallow in my sweat. Let it ferment.
Don't do it for too long. We got the same thing tomorrow as I go to the bath.
I fucking hate you.
So the other four of you, are you all intending to go to the library? I know Ghost for sure. I know Aralea for sure. Roy, yes. Okay.
Sure.
Okay.
Nerds.
So, you guys will get there. It'll take a little bit, Nick with bath and stuff like that. Roy, if he ends up washing up, which you stink, so you probably should.
Damn. Get him.
Chick magnet.
Ellie, I gotta find my notes. You make your way a little out of breath into the shop. It's not too far away. It's probably I would say a 5-minute sprint away, a 10-minute jog away.
I'm sprinting.
So you make it there pretty quick and just like slam open the door. The shop is not open yet because it's still really early, but you see behind the counter the shopkeeper, the elf that you met the other day when you came in here. And the glass is kind of down on the nose, kind of pushes him up.
I'm sorry, I'm late. Ah! I'm like stuck in the bowed position.
You're like stuck in the bout. You're like that anime character that's like,
Yep.
please don't hate me forever.
I'm so sorry.
Well, come. Let's get started. You follow him to the back room. And like in this area, kind of the hallway goes back and then it kind of goes around a little bit until you come into this open area with a forge and anvil and a ton of different just near the forge and anvil you see several different like shelves filled with every metal you could ever imagine. there's you notice traditional things like iron and stuff like that, but there's like, you've got like copper and stuff like that, and more rare metals, even like some silvers and golds mixed in here, not in large amounts and not like purified like they would be in like, money or like for currency, but like just like the raw gold ore almost. And then over to the side, you see like this stone table with carvings and runes in it, and there's drawers and cabinets filled with different random materials, and just with the briefest glance looking at these drawers, you see them labeled, and there's different, like, one's labeled like there's like diamonds, rubies, emeralds, like all these different types of stones and rare gemstones, very neatly organized in these drawers. So let's see. You can smith a little bit, so we should start with that. I have a few orders for clients that I need to be made. Specifically, I have a great sword ordered for a gentleman in the west side of town. Let's start you off with that. It seems like you have a handle on that.
Huh? I got a hilt on that.
You do notice too.
I'm gonna go home.
There are, like, on the other side, kind of away from the fires of the forge, there are like kind of spaced out on different shelves, like different woods that you've, like, there's like these darkened woods, and like just different colors and strength. Yeah, there's some walnut in there.
You got some spruce.
There's some maple. You gotta.
Those are all the trees I know.
I'm wasted out.
Mahogany.
Exhausted.
There's a lot of different types.
Ooh, mahogany. Bamboo. Wow. I don't know what that would.
Oh my god.
So.
I'm a botanist.
Simon. Who?
That's his name, huh?
Simon Rosh.
Rosh.
Yes, spelled Roch. He gives you a pattern to follow, basically, like what the client's looking for, the specifications and stuff like that, and starts helping you pull out different metals. So it's not just going to be made with like pure like iron. There'll be like other mixtures and alloys mixed into the blade. You do see, like, down the line a little bit, there are like other magical specifications for the blade. It looks like it's gonna need to be enchanted slightly. It's not like a lot of different things. There's like a couple different, like, one is just like increased strength and power, and then there's just like a few like small things, like being able to like hold a little bit of heat and flame in it. So I want you to make a blacksmithing roll for me as you begin to work on this.
Oh boy.
There are a lot of different metals that you're not used to working with.
And with the 1.4 update, you can use skill slots to up
2 skill slots can boost your roll by 1. But I don't believe you have any. Do you have any available skill slots, Ellie?
I do, but I don't know if I want to use them right off the bat. So this is my first go.
Okay, what'd you get?
I got a base of 5, but plus 4, so it's a 9. It's not great. Not my finest work. It's early. Okay.
We'll come back. You begin like putting the metals in and melting them and getting them heated up and ready to go. It'll take you some time to smith this work. So the rest of you
can't rush greatness.
Are off to the library. With the passes that you have, you come to the gate, and Aralea, since you took them out of Ghost's pocket, you probably have them. So you hand one to the guard, He looks at it, looks up at you, looks down at the pass, looks back up at you.
They're fake IDs.
It's a pause. There's a long pause.
I swear we're 21.
Okay, everything looks in order. You may pass. You guys enter the campus of the Spires of Power. These passes seem to be legit. You're unsure.
I'm about to get out some fire if it wasn't.
You're unsure how they were acquired, though.
That'd have been respect.
So, the campus is quite large. You see a lot of people walking around, mostly in robes, carrying books, things like that, from place to place. One building that looks like the main building has just like it's probably 4 or 5 stories tall. A wide, longer building with wings coming out, like wings of like areas. It looks like this is mostly like classrooms, stuff like that. There's just a plethora of rooms that you can just see from there. Off to one side, there is what looks like a dormitory with a tower attached to it, and it looks like there's 2 of those kind of closer to the gate and the entrance of the thing, but around, you're kind of directed by the guards. You come up the cliffside, up a kind of a winding, cobbled path to this large building that sits kind of a little away from the rest of the campus, which is the library. And as you guys enter, it is a mostly circular middle with like offshoots of, looks like there's hallways and rooms and stuff like that offshoot from the base floor and potentially even up. But the main area in the center is this circular thing, and it on the bottom it's filled with different shelves of books, and there's places to study on the edges, and kind of in the towards the middle, there's like this big open that you can see all the way up several stories to like the ceiling of the building. There are basically these spiraling staircases on each side that kind of come up and attach to the next level, and you look up above, and those go up and up and up to multiple floors. And the upper floors, you can already tell, like it's open in the center, but it rings the outside of this building, and it's just shelves filled with books like everywhere. It doesn't look like there's a way to outer rooms from the middle part of the library. It looks like if you were to go to outer rooms of the building, you'd have to do it from the first floor and then go up. But there are a lot of books in here.
Is there any like Dewey Decimal System? Like,
well, you guys, you consult with one of the librarians. There are a bunch of them kind of working around. You kind of they kind of give you a brief rundown on potentially where books are and stuff like that, and you can consult them when you're looking. That's kind of like when you're doing these research-esque roles, you're consulting with them a little bit and trying to basically find these books. So for the research, I've set difficulties for each thing that you guys asked about. Every time you spend researching it, it's basically you're gonna spend a day working through one topic. So you spend the day looking for these, figuring out what books they are, because there's a lot of space in here. Every roll for a topic, if you fail, the difficulty goes down by 2, because you've like narrowed in on it. So it will get easier with time. But this is just to kind of see how long you guys will take with this. So rolls for today, what do people want to look up? We'll start we'll start with Nick. What do you want?
I like to help Ghost with his research.
Okay, so you'll both make rolls for the same thing. Ghost, I'm assuming you want to go for the Ring of the True Seeker. Okay, and then Roy, what do you want to?
I don't know yet.
Okay, come back to
Give me
you.
a second.
And then Aralea, what do you want to look up?
I'll start with the ancient elven bloodlines and their
Okay.
last known heirs.
Okay. Okay, let's go ahead and start with you, Aralea. Go ahead and make a D20 knowledge roll for me. It's technically a research roll. I know
Okay.
it's not on the base thing, but that's because it's an expansion downtime material that we haven't quite fully finished yet.
Okay. I rolled a 15 plus 1 for a
Okay,
16.
16. So, you start working your way up through the library. You have a pretty good sense of where this will probably be. There's basically a whole section that is these lineages of like different races and stuff like that. You start working your way through, bringing down a few books to like a study table at a time, and then you narrow in kind of on like there's like different things about like you kind of find like genealogical histories of elves and stuff like that. If you want to know a little bit about that, I can tell you some, but it's up to you. But it's not quite what you're looking for yet. Do you want to know anything about that, or do you just want to like kind of skim through it?
No, I kind of just want to skim through
Okay.
it. You know exactly what I'm looking for.
Yeah, I know what you're looking for. So you skim
Yeah.
through the genealogical histories of just different types of elves that like kind of how they've branched off and split across the world. So there's a few different names. You know, you pick up like things about the Elysian elves, which is what subrace you technically are, and there's a few other sub races, but it's not quite. You're like narrowing in on it, but it's not quite what you want. Okay. Ghost.
Yep.
And Nick, both of you go ahead. Actually, one of you go first, because one of them will make the other easier. So whoever wants to go first to try to
I'll
look
go
up
first.
Okay.
I will use 4 skill slots to add +2, and then adaptability for another 2.
Mm-hmm. So that's +4.
So a +4.
Okay.
That's a mod 20.
Okay. That is enough. So you guys, this is complicated. There's a few things you're looking for. So you're looking for any information on the Ring of the True Seeker. And the librarians are kind of like having to scrounge and go through things to help you like figure out where this might be. You find a couple of texts. One is basically a tome of like mythical items that would potentially sorry, I'm like bringing up a couple things that would it's basically like a descriptor of what is assumed these mythical items do. So it's not necessarily like this isn't necessarily fact, but it's like extrapolation from stories and things that have happened. So you see a few things. You see stories about a staff of endless winters. Make just both of you go ahead, because you're kind of working together. Make knowledge checks, both of you.
10.
Okay.
19.
Okay, Ghost. Some things kind of it's not just about the Ring of the True Seeker. There's a few things that stand out to you. One of them in particular is this ever-changing, slightly purple cloth that you've seen very recently on a person. It's called Dream Silk. And it is apparently, let me get to my gods and stuff like that. Where is my god page? Powerful gods and goddesses. Okay, sorry. It is Don't even know. It is believed to be the mythical, like one of the mythical items of Kel, the Dream Weaver, who is the god of dreams and time. The rumored properties is that this silk could be made so that a person who uses it properly can either, one, basically use dreams to see visions of different things, or two, slightly alter their position within the flow of time. You do eventually come across the Ring of the Truth Seeker, which a few things you already know about it. That is an item believed to be of Kita. The powers of it are believed to be the power to see through lies of others. So that basically it's rumored to make it so that people are incapable of lying to the wielder. It also is believed to be able to compel those to reveal both lies and secrets that are of a wicked nature, believing that basically this ring was used to create like this almost like justice, like basically sense of like given to a wielder to use to like so that they could enact justice on people who have done wrongs. You also find one other thing. Sorry, I gotta send out a message quick.
Good.
You find one other thing that you guys read through together, which I have right here.
It just sound like they're reading from the same book and they're like finishing each other's sentences.
It's kind of like one of them will read and then slide the book across the table to the other one. Yeah. So they start putting stuff together. So there we go. You find in particular this in a book of stories, not in a historical text or anything like that, but almost like this text of mythos and ancient tales that have been passed down from generations and generations. It's called The Fall of Kosan. Kosan was a great warrior that protected the people. He followed the goddess Kita, and he gave his oath to go where she needed and protect who needed protecting. Because of his devoutness to Kita, she gifted him with one of her own treasures, the Ring of the Truth Seeker. It had the power to see through lies and was used to bring justice to those who deserved it. Kosan believed himself unworthy of her gift, attempting many times to return it. But Kita would not have it, saying, "You swore an oath to follow me wherever I need. Follow me in this as well." Seeing there was no way out, Kosan took on this burden. The price of unfiltered truth was heavy on him. There were many friends that could no longer hide lies from him, and so they left. But Kosan's wife, Thimbuke, had never lied to him, and she became one of the only people he could trust, and this gave him strength in his duties to Kita. During a time of great strife, Kita was forced to order Kosan to the front lines in order to protect helpless people from wicked monsters. While he stood his ground defending this village, before smiting one down, he asked, "Do you have any last words before justice finds you?" The creature laughed in Kosan's face. "You fool. We did not only attack here. I wonder how much that woman of yours will scream before she breaks. Kosan shouted at the wicked creature, "You lie!" But in his heart, Kosan knew that no one could lie to him. And so he left immediately, returning home as fast as he could. But when he arrived, all he found were signs of a struggle and blood on the floor. Thimbuke was gone, and only after weeping did Kosan realize what he had done. By leaving the village, he had forsaken his oath to protect people he was charged with, and by the time he made it back, the village and all its inhabitants were no more. He wept on the field of battle for 3 days from his failure. And when Kita finally found him, she saw an emptiness in his eyes and a broken heart. She attempted to comfort Kosan, but even she could not lie to him. He had failed her, and he would have to pay for that. Kosan accepted his fate. I have failed you, and you cannot comfort me. The people trusted you, and they trusted me. No matter what you say, I can no longer be one of your chosen. You must banish me so that I can restore your honor, and the people will still have faith in you. This is just for the death of so many. Seeing the resolve in Kosan's eyes, Kita reluctantly agreed, dubbing Kosan Oathbreaker for his failure to choose the people over himself.
Oh shit.
You're muted. Jesus. Stop yelling.
What? I'm just saying what. Nothing crazy.
Erelea?
I'm not there.
I mean, you're around.
Okay. Are you coming? You're coming to find me?
Well, I guess we have a lead ghost.
Like we do.
Let's go find out. So we will. Do.
So they show you the story. So you read through it.
Mm-hmm.
Are you able to summon the Oathbreaker?
I don't think we have that kind of relationship. I'm pretty sure he shows up when he wants to, and
Snap your
not
fingers.
when I want him to.
What would make him show up?
Some dog treats.
I don't. The only thing that I could think of is if I strayed away from what he wants me to do, but I don't want to do that because I don't know what the consequences are.
What is it that you're wanting to do?
What is it that I want to do, or what?
Or
he
that
wants
he's
me to
wanting
do?
you to do?
He wants me to protect Ellie.
Okay. What if someone got in the way and you weren't able to do that? Would he force his way here?
Potentially. I don't have a paper contract. I don't know what the stipulations are.
Because I don't want to put her in any danger, but if he doesn't know any better and we could, I don't know, make it seem that way, I wonder if we could make him show up.
Potentially.
Maybe we can try pleading out to him in a more quiet, secure area. In a library, he might not be as willing, but we can try to see if there's anything we can do tonight. But this is a start. It's the best lead we got so far. I'm guessing this is close to the end of the day.
Yeah, you guys. By the time you guys find it, it's getting later. I do want to get Roy.
Yes.
Do you have something you want to look up?
As you guys are doing that, I'm gonna go over to the librarian. I feel like-
Is there something I can help you find?
Hi, yeah. Do you have a book on like like self-help, like finding yourself?
Oh, we yes.
For a friend.
We-
For a friend.
Yes,
For a friend.
We can certainly get one of those for you. Would you like a private room to
No,
read
no,
in?
no, no. Hell no. I'm just gonna grab another big book.
Okay.
Tears
I
are
kinda
streaming
like-
down his face. No, I don't think you're
No.
So easy enough. You find a you grab another random big tome. It's like the genealogical history of dwarves and where they come from.
Fascinating.
But inside the book you have, and this book is like that, the genealogical history is like really thick, and you have like a pretty decent sized book of how to discover yourself when you don't know who you are.
Oh my god, can it be by like that guy we killed in at that party?
It definitely would not be by him. But,
Damn
hold on.
it.
Actually, I do have authors designed, so let me pull one of them out.
Oh no, it's by Reese.
You have medieval authors that write self-help books.
Well, I didn't have a self-help book planned, but I had a bunch of other authors. Yeah. Just gonna see if one of them.
Hey,
One of
we
them
need
was-
help no matter what day and age it is, you know?
I also
Um,
get a book that's just a bunch of drawings of naked ladies, just in case they see what I'm reading, so that one's not as embarrassing.
Interesting enough.
Like a health book.
Interesting.
Anatomy.
Oh, you
Yeah.
want like an anatomy book on top of it too?
Yeah.
Okay,
I have like
okay.
3 books.
They don't have
Female
Playboy?
anatomy.
The fuck?
So you find a book on anatomy. That's not that hard.
Picture that's on like a female
The
page.
self-help book is by a rather famous author of romance, Nissa Vernon. And she goes into many ways in which she used her writing to help discover who she was, and like deal with trauma and certain issues, to really find herself discover herself. So you spend the day reading this book. Eventually, the rest of the group approaches you after you guys kind of make this discovery. You're probably a good 100, maybe 150 pages into this book when they start to approach. It's getting really good too. It's like there's like a lot of stuff. It's really hitting home.
I just kind of like slam all the books. Not slam, but like kind of flip all the books over to like the random book. The
It's just like a
genealogy
dick
of,
on top.
the genealogy of
Dwarves and where they come
dwarves.
from.
Oh, yeah. It's like, oh, hey guys.
What you reading there? Oh, dwarf dick.
Just some interesting stuff here.
Apparently.
Got a dwarf fetish.
What interesting things have you learned from that book?
You know that dwarves are short?
So either you haven't
the
been
hands.
reading, or you're reading something else.
Make a perception check for me, guys. Examination
17.
check. It's examination technically.
Examination. I don't think I have that, but just the natural roll was 17.
Okay.
Nice.
Do you have any bonus in perception or examination?
Perception, yes. So that'd be 18.
So you see a lot of different books here. Anatomy, genealogical histories, and a book called How to Discover Yourself.
Ghost is gonna keep that to himself.
Okay.
Good
Save
man.
for a later date.
Good man.
So, the books cannot be taken from the library. Roy,
What?
you can. They must remain in the library, but they can be held so that when you come back the next day, you can continue working your way through the same books. Roy, are you leaving with them? It's probably about 5, 6.
Oh yeah, sure. Yeah, let's get out of here.
Okay. Are you
Those
saving? Are you
nerds in here?
Are you having the librarian save your book for tomorrow?
No, I don't care about what I'm reading, guys. Yeah, let's get this.
Okay.
Head
So
on
you,
out, guys.
so you leave. You are
I try to make eye contact with the librarian.
make
Intimidation?
make
Intimidate
a
him.
make a persuasion check for me.
3.
3. The good news is that because the librarian helped show you where all these books are, you know exactly what shelf this book is on. So there's a good chance you'll be able to go back and grab it tomorrow.
That's what I figured.
Um,
Someone else is reading it. Come back.
You're like, hey.
God damn it!
That's my self-help book.
So
I mean, anatomy book.
you guys make your way back to the inn. Ellie, you would probably be back already about 5. You are coated in like sweat from. Well, you probably actually might have bathed by this point, but you were pounding, melting and like shaping this sword all day. It's not done. There's
damn.
still some work to do. Definitely a lot of work left to do on it, but you made some progress today, just not a whole lot. But the forge is hot, and standing like next to like several 100-degree oven basically for the entire day, like you are pretty wiped.
Yep.
Pretty hot.
I tell Fifi, I'm like, don't be jealous. Nothing compares to you, babe. You're still my number one.
So you guys come back to see Ellie talking to Fifi. Briefly.
You need your own room.
Nothing's different.
You can't really hear what she's saying. but-
Stroking her.
I think we're good for.
How was your job, Ellie?
It was great. I'm learning some things I didn't know you could put in weapons. It seems a little extra to me. I think you can put a little bedazzle on there and a little
Chocolate milk.
extra bling, and yeah, you can even put a little a holder on your sword for chocolate milk these days. Isn't that wild?
Wow.
Yeah.
How many cup holders come with your sword?
If not 3, then what are you doing? Yeah, it's been good. What'd you fucking nerds learn at the library?
We found out who the Oathbreaker is, and that he's connected to what Ghost needs to find.
Wait, what?
Is who is
His name is Koson.
Kosan?
He has a name. Kosan. That's so lame.
Hey,
Imagine your name's so cool, like Oathbreaker, and you're this brooding son of a bitch, and your name's Kosan.
We didn't give him that name. It feels bad for whoever did, right?
Oh.
Anyway,
Wait, how did he get that name? Wait, what? Hold on. I need backstory. I know this dude. I want to know what's up.
we reread the story, give you the highlights.
Oh,
Nick,
shit.
Nick might get a little dark and brooding during the talk of him going off to battle, leaving his town, and then finding out that the town is wiped. But yeah, that's what happened.
Cliff
Shit.
notes.
So, sounds like we need to talk to good old Oathbreaker. Hey, Aralea, don't you have him on speed dial there?
That's what we thought.
Yeah, isn't he your boyfriend?
Yeah, God, aren't you guys like dating?
Having a boyfriend named Kosan.
Yeah, gross.
Only hurts a little, man. Only
having
hurts
a
a little.
Doesn't hurt you, hurts DM.
No, it hurts me.
It's a little bit of both.
Oh shit.
Oh.
Yeah, he hasn't come to me when I want him to. It's not how this relationship works.
Technically, you've only tried it once to make him come to you.
Can I sense intent on Oathbreaker? Does he seem like the type of guy to come when called?
We could try. Hey, Othie! Kosan!
You can certainly...
Probably do this not in a tavern.
You want to help us, Jack?
Probably
I can
go up to our
try to
rooms.
sense intent.
Who's coming?
Yeah,
on
I
you?
mean, if you want to try a sense intent roll,
Yeah, I would love to.
you're gonna need to roll pretty high.
That's a mod 20.
Oh, that's pretty
I rolled
good.
a 17 plus my 3 in perception.
So,
Whoa.
judging by what you've read, combined with because you don't know him very well. You know a little bit because of what he's done with your tattoo and just with what the deal you've made, basically. Combined with the story gives you a little bit, just enough context to know that he seems like he's bound by honor. And even though he is exiled, he kind of partially did it to himself too, to save face. So there's a chance that if you were in need, that he may come.
If I were in need.
If, like, you needed to talk to him, like, really needed. Not, like, necessarily that you had to be in danger, but, like, there's a chance.
Okay. I mean, we can try. I don't know if it'll work or not.
That's all we can do right now.
It's worth a shot.
Yeah. As we're going up to our rooms, I'm gonna give another 3 gold to the barkeep.
Okay.
Or give 3 gold to
Oh,
the
yeah.
barkeep to
Roy.
retain my room.
Okay. Roy, by the way,
Oh no.
Jack pulls you aside before you go upstairs. So, most of the funds for the bachelor party did cover the alcohol, the drinks, and a little bit of the fight. But, and she pulls out, like, a piece of parchment and slides it over to you. It's 20 gold pieces for the damaged furniture. Just, like, there's, like, it's like tabled up. There's, like, a bunch of, like, slight damage to this, broken bottle, broken glasses, broken mugs, chairs, stuff like that. It's all, like, done and, like, off to the side the gold amount, but it's a total of 20 gold.
Right.
Does Ghost notice this?
Make a perception check. Examination.
Technically, we didn't start the fight. I'm pretty sure the guy.
Oh no,
was-
she knows very well that you were the one who instigated this, so because you talked to
Get
her
inside
about
the
it.
fire.
What'd you roll?
I rolled a 5.
Okay, you don't see this as you're heading upstairs. You're pretty focused on the Oathbreaker rather than what's going on with Roy.
Yeah.
So,
Eldoran, you have the party funds.
Take care of this. Bye.
okay, I'll make a note that there's minus 20 gold from the party funds. So just so
Sweet.
you're aware. Okay. You guys head upstairs. I'm assuming you're all going to one room to try to do this.
Yeah, probably.
I'm bringing a beer.
This room.
Okay. Roy brings up a drink for himself.
What's up?
Okay. So,
I
Aralea,
steal Roy's drink. I take his drink and I drink it.
as you
Down.
walk in the room, it's just like,
I prevent it.
Okay, man.
Oh, you want to try that?
Okay.
I prevent
Roy, make a dexterity saving throw. Aralea, make a sleight of hand check.
All right.
Nothing gets past my dexterous little fingers.
I rolled an 11.
I rolled a 12. Holy shit!
Try to take the drink, and he's like, "Not today."
I knock it out of his hand.
I prevent it.
Technically, he passed the roll the last time, so he would have it pretty safe
Yep.
back from you.
I walk away from Aralea, the fucking bully.
I'm
She
the
just
one
wants her
doing this
drink.
shit.
Wait, do we have a backup plan if this doesn't work?
Do.
I'll
You just don't know
go-
about it.
I'll grab the pitcher
What?
from my other room,
Okay.
bring it up, and give it to Aralea.
Okay.
Wait, Aralea, is your backup plan if you can't get my drink, or is your backup plan when this doesn't get summoned?
When he doesn't come.
Okay.
What's the backup
Have
plan?
this.
Oh, I didn't say that out loud.
Okay.
That
Oh.
was.
So, you guys have some drinks and stuff. You can have stuff brought up to your room anyway. So you guys have like some wine, stuff like that. I mean, you guys have nicer rooms, so there's like kind of like some drinks up here already.
Don't take from the mini fridge.
Okay, Aralea, I need you to make a spellcraft check for me.
Would it be a mini keg?
You are basically trying to focus your mind into this connection that you have with the Oathbreaker to try to pull him to you.
13.
You can feel, you really try to focus your mind deep into this, and you can feel that little, like, there's like that thread that kind of connects you, almost like this like brief, like it's almost like trying to grab like a spider web, like just like this thin silk that's together, and you can't quite fully wrap your mind to grasp it at this moment. This goes on for probably a good hour and a half as you really try to focus and concentrate. So we're approaching later in the evening.
So are we all like drunk now at this point?
I'm like, fuck that. I'm
You
going
guys,
to get another
yeah, I was
drink.
gonna say you guys are like drinking and stuff, so you guys are feeling good. You're probably not drunk, but you're feeling, you know.
Nick isn't
Speak
drinking.
for yourself.
Nick isn't drinking, but he's been eyeing like a mug.
You think that if you think you can try, like, eventually you might be able to grab it, but the 13 is not high enough to grasp this. And you by the time you're done, you feel just like mental fatigue, basically trying to grasp this. So you cannot make another attempt to grasp the thread tonight.
Couldn't make him come, huh?
You guys can certainly try your backup plan.
We're not doing phrasing anymore. Okay, just there.
What?
Phrasing.
Oh.
There you go.
Sorry.
It's a dick joke.
We can try again tomorrow. Otherwise, Nick and Ghost, we could try Plan B.
I'd rather put nobody in danger.
Let's drink.
Allie's feeling
Let's-
pretty solid. She's like, this is
Clinkies.
I had a hard day at work, guys. I am just
Gavin,
ready to let
Yeah.
loose.
DM question.
yeah.
Can I use my newly acquired abilities for this, like the
You
echoes,
certainly can.
to play out a scene? Because that's exactly what I want to do.
Are you trying to like make believe it? Basically, are you trying to use your echoes to like pretend to go after Ellie, or are you using them to try to like fake the scene, basically, entirely?
Well, I mean, yes.
Like are you
Like,
using?
they're-
Are you using the echo to like the echoes go after Ellie and try to attack her, basically to threaten her? And
right, but, they're not actually going to do any harm.
yeah. That's what I was getting at.
Yeah. Yep.
Go ahead and spend 2 worth of your Echo Step.
Okay.
And then we'll get to that. So,
Okay.
Ellie's not gonna appreciate any of this.
well, yeah, you're a
What do we see?
little tipsy too, so this is gonna look real weird, real quick, because you guys haven't really seen this much before. You watch as like you, Nick and Arale, you're talking about like whether we should just try to attempt tomorrow. A Ghost is kind of standing against the wall. You watch as 2 figures split off of Ghost, and they almost are like these his shadows almost come up and like form into these copy like shadow versions of him, and they charge at Ellie with swords in hand. Ellie, I need you to make a
Bitch, what the fuck?
I need you to make an examination check for me. Examination perception. So add your examination bonus and your perception bonus in together. Make a d20 roll. And then Ghost, go ahead. What's your bonus for athletics?
It's an hour.
For athletics,
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna re-roll this
it's
one.
2.
I was gonna say you have Ellie. You have a fate shift, a negative fate shift on this because you're drunk and you don't expect this.
Well,
can
I just
react?
rolled a nat 1, and so I was gonna use Careful Hands. So do I roll 2 more times now?
Does
or
that
what?
counteract
What-
the negative fate shift?
So-
It's a straight roll.
Or do I just take the
Okay.
nat 1 and just go
So-
with it?
The nat one would be the lower of the two. I will let you, because of Careful Hands, because this is technically a skill check, I will let you re-roll that, because like the way that I would imagine it works is you take the lower, and then she's using it on the total, so she could re-roll the nat 1, because it is a keystone ability, so it should be able to do that. So go ahead and make a roll and take the new roll.
Can I react to this at all?
You do not expect this at all.
It's an 8.
And Ghost is not moving. He's just standing with his arms against the wall, basically. It's just like shadows are splitting off of him. It's an 8.
Yeah.
Ghost, make a d20 adding in your athletics.
Not a natural 20.
Mod
It's an
20.
athletics roll? For
Not a
spell?
natural, but it's a 20.
Mod.
It's a class ability. It's not a
Ah.
spell. Ellie, you see these shadow versions of Ghost run at you and are trying to attack you. You were definitely like, what the fuck?
I'm fucking swinging. Like, what the
Yeah, oh yeah,
fuck?
you go to swing your axe.
I
at
knew
them.
this bitch was crazy. After I saw him slice the throat of 3 people. Jesus.
So as these swords, these shadow figures come up, and like they almost like seem to solidify into Ghost above you, like 2 of them like making different strikes at you with sword. One of them's coming overhead, one of them's like trying to stab you through. You're like pulling out, because Fifi would be like probably against the wall or on your back or something, so you're like pulling out Fifi to try to like swing to block these. As you go to swing, a figure appears in front of you. Bald, dark skin, piercing red eyes,
That's all it took.
and
was a phantom.
swaps. He just swipes they almost turn into fog as he just swipes through them.
Nice.
You did
That
not
works.
need to cause violence to summon me here.
So do I
It
like
worked,
hit
didn't it?
Oathbreaker because I'm mid swing?
Yeah, you're coming mid swing, so he swipes away, and as you come mid swing, so you know that from previous encounters, he has been not solid. It's
Oh.
been this illusion projection of him. But as you go to swing, he catches Fifi with his other hand. And he kind of like gently releases it.
Is he solid this time?
Like it.
You gonna go up and touch him?
Well, I'm not going to touch him.
You know there were easier ways to summon me than just.
I take a step towards Ghost and swing at him.
Are you? So
That beat.
Ghost, you just let it happen. I mean, she's not trying to intentionally like kill you. I imagine she's probably just like smacking you.
Yeah, it's fine.
You're violently shaken by like a little gnome. So,
I thought we were not gonna go down this route so quickly, Ghost.
I never intended to hurt anyone, but it did get him here, didn't it?
is there something I can do for you?
There is
Kosan.
Make an examination check for me.
Could you imagine?
Actually,
like,
make
having
sense
a
intent
head,
checks for me.
having a
Leia
beautiful
is going to
baby,
stand by the door
Waiting 9
as
months.
soon as Nick says
waiting
his
9
name.
Mhm.
She's just gonna go to the door and stand there.
Gonna
10.
meme on his name.
Ghost?
15.
Ghost, you see a brief, like, raising of the eyes and eyebrows at the name. It's Oathbreaker. Thank you.
It is now. I know a little bit about your story. And I also know that you know of the Ring of the Truth Seeker, and perhaps where to find it.
With your 15, you notice another flick as his eyes shift down. His hands are kind of like crossed in front of him. On his left hand, on his ring finger, is a gold band engraved with different symbols and runes.
Oh, that was easy.
Oh no! No, this is
No,
this is
it's
far
not.
from
Break off his
from easy.
finger!
What actually, when you, Ghost, say this, his posture does change a little bit. It's the rest of you are kind of like he's hard to read. There's like a lot of like his emotion state and stuff like that is not. Erle and Ghost would have the easiest time. It's muted. It's definitely someone that's been seen a lot of death and has trained very, very well to hide his emotions. But Ghost, you see this twitch almost of the side of the lip, like in a smile. And he comes towards you.
Can I sense intent?
Sure.
I have my shield on.
Natural 20.
Okay. From his posture, this Oathbreaker Kosan is a large man. He is almost what you would imagine as the epitome of like a human warrior. He is large. He's probably 250 pounds with broad shoulders and very well muscular. It's almost like he's like the perfect like design of a warrior.
Other than me.
Yeah, other than Roy. But in his stance, while his stance is very guided and definitely very like he's wearing like this black almost like cloak robe, you know, that kind of like covers it's pretty light. Similar to Reese, you get this like this there's like this definitely this like very like warrior like every footwork and movement has intent and purpose, and he's in like perfect balance with himself. But with your natural 20, you do not get the sense that he intends violence. In fact, he seems almost happy. More happy than you've seen in a while. There's definitely something like he was waiting for this. He is taller than you, Ghost, so he looks down at you as he's standing next to you. And do you... sorry, I need to bring up some notes. I have a lot of notes to bring up this time.
Nick will be close enough to use bodyguard.
I mean, this room's not...
Just in case.
I was going to say, this room's not big enough that you could be far enough away to not use bodyguard. You're probably within, like, 5 to 10 feet of him. These are pretty tight quarters. Okay, let me bring up one thing quick. Are you, Leon Ballar, ready to take on this burden?
I am.
You have been chosen by Kita to be her warrior, her champion in the war to come.
Oh.
Good luck.
I'm out.
Your heart is full of the desire to protect those close to you. You have a duty to be a protector, a guardian, a warrior, and a person that brings justice to those who deserve it. You must prove your worth to me and to her to show that you are capable of wielding some of the ring's power. There is a facility a day to 2 days outside of Blackash, partially run by the government of Houghton, the Conyers, but it has become a twisted and corrupt facility where they create monstrosities and things of unnatural nature. They do not know the powers they toy with. I charge you with this task to prove yourself. Take yourself and your friends, destroy all the research notes in the facility and any of their creations that pervert life. If you do this, the ring and its burden will be passed to you.
Consider it done.
Shit, do we get anything?
He looks you like deep in the eyes.
Kisses you.
Swear the oath to bring justice.
I swear to bring justice.
Then this task is now yours. And with that, there's the twitch of the smile. It blooms into a full, genuine smile. And he disappears.
He had some janky teeth.
Don't we all? We don't really have
That's fair.
dentists.
I invented toothpaste. Mine are perfect. I just want to say that Ghost now has this whole thing bestowed upon him. I'm reading a self-help book.
Aw.
We're at a few different levels here.
Hey, don't compare yourself to others.
You do get the sense, Ghost, that this is not a task that is, one, should be taken lightly, and two, should be done in haste. It's not. There's no rush to do this. This facility has definitely existed for some time. So it's not like you need to leave immediately to get this done. It's just you need to do it within reason, right? Like, you guys can still take some time to rest and research some other stuff and put together stuff you need for traveling and stuff, but
Sounds like we need to get it done though before you can use the ring or whatever,
Well, he can't. He doesn't have the ring yet.
or have the
Yeah.
ring or whatever.
and you do feel a slight tug, Ghost, in a particular direction. There's like almost like a tug on your spirit.
Okay.
Yeah, I said let's get these sons of bitches.
We don't even know what they did. We don't even know what they did.
Right now?
It's the Conyers. They're creating gross, disgusting reanimations of corpses. Like, and God knows what else.
We might be able to find some info on your father, Ellie.
That would be
Maybe
a bonus.
Maybe this research facility has some knowledge on that.
You guys also haven't checked the there is, I told Olivia about this outside of game, but there is a facility within Blackash that is specifically used to gather the corpses, because it's a law that if you're a Houghton citizen, when you pass, instead of burying their corpses, they're basically promised to the Houghton military to protect the kingdom. So all corpses are transferred to this facility, and then they're dispersed out as they're reanimated and made into different things. So there are like that type of thing there, but like I'm just trying to give you guys a little bit of context on like just because you guys would know this by this point from being here. There are different methods to bring back things. So there's skeletons. You've seen like different types of like undead, even in the military. But the way that the Oathbreaker made the sound is it's like this almost ridiculous twisting of like life. So
Experiment, kind of?
Yeah, it's like an experimental twisting of life that's pushing the boundaries.
He said 1 to 2 days, but do we have a sense on what direction? Did he say what direction?
Ghost, would you like to point?
Sure.
You point towards the tug. That direction. That is the direction you want to go. It's it would be mostly north, slightly west.
Northwest. Northwest?
Little northwest.
I thought we were on a peak. Like
you are
on the very edge, like
you
the
are on
northwest
like
edge.
you are on like a peninsula, like so like the bay is like here. There's like the city is like built on this like cliff peninsula almost.
Mm-hmm.
So like northwest would run along the western coast of Aelish. So it's probably somewhere along the coastline of Aelish.
Okay.
But you have literally a beacon pointing you straight there.
As long as we have directions. Well, I guess we should get ready and finish up business here in Blackash. Whatever that might be. We should still probably take a week. A week
God,
to
that cat in the alley is crazy.
get done what is needed. And go from there. Maybe we can get some more gold. I mean, Twiddlewink's money has been good, but we might need more to get more health potions. What are they called? Spell slot potions?
They're just called potion of slots.
Potion of slots.
They restore any type of slot when the user drinks them. So it's like a specified amount, but
right. Maybe upgrade weapons. See if there's any kind of smaller tasks that we could get some gold for.
Okay.
What do you think, Eldoran?
Love it.
Kind of
He's
brilliant.
quiet.
Yeah, he's very quiet today. Okay. So unless you guys have anything else to talk about, or if people want to have private conversations with people, now would be the time to do that. If not, we'll start working on the downtime roles for as you guys prepare and go through the week. We can do shopping before you guys leave. Probably next episode when we've got Riker here too, to kind of like have the party fund actually in person.
Mm-hmm.
And we can do a little bit of that. So
Ghost, it sounds like you need to join Roy and I for... I'm sorry, Leon. That's force of habit. Join us for some training in the mornings. And anybody else who wants to, of course. Ellie, you could... You're strong already, but...
I don't want to hurt any of you, you know.
Of course.
Also, you have a job.
Yeah, I'm a working woman now. So
It's about damn time.
I hit you on the head. I don't know how because I'm down here, but I find a way.
Just a
little
bonk.
jump.
Rose axe.
Yeah, a bonk you with these blunt side.
We will be waking up at the crack of dawn, so be prepared.
I would suggest locking your door.
So
Yeah.
you guys begin to make your way through the rest of the week, and we'll get some more stuff to do. So, Ellie, why don't you go ahead and make another blacksmithing roll for me as you continue to forge this blade?
Sure. Also, next time I see Oathbreaker, I got a bone to pick. I was almost murdered by a serial killer, and that bitch did not show up. But like phantoms that probably wouldn't even have hurt me.
True.
I am upset. That's all I'm saying. 12.
12. So you
Not
keep
rolling great.
you keep working on the blade. It's starting to take shape. But it'll take you some more time. I mean, forging takes time, so.
Yeah.
Okay,
Getting
so
there.
we've got more research and stuff to do. So, Roy, you're gonna keep reading your book.
Yeah, this time be more sneaky and have a big book that's like spear stances.
Okay.
And spear fighting tactics.
Okay. You have like tactics and uses of the spear throughout history.
Yeah.
One of oh gosh. Okay.
I was gonna say so Ghost, Ghost, are you gonna continue to go to the library and help research stuff?
Yeah, I'm actually going to do research on Servants of Sasroth to figure out more
Okay.
about them.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, so Erlea, go ahead and make your research roll, looking for these royal elf blood. It's like royal lineages.
What do I add to that?
Your knowledge bonus.
Knowledge, so that it's a mod 20.
Okay, that's enough.
You guys are rolling like crazy.
No, what the fuck?
Can't get
So-
above a 10.
I'm just
Hey.
trying to get some stuff together. Where was that? It was. No, that's not the right one. Anyway, so you begin working your way deeper and deeper into the histories and different types of elves and stuff like that. It takes you some time, and you find it in this older history book, basically. And it's the section that you read is called the Royal Line of Brylin. You make a connection because you're from Brathlin. The Royal Line of Brylin is the line of monarchs that currently rule Brathlin. Okay? Elven golden eyes have been traditionally linked to the royal line of Brylin. The trait was lost at a point near the Itiarantor, which has likely been even further removed from the royal line due to the Civil War of Ascension, when the true line of Brylin died out, and infighting began between the cousin houses of Kaiweave and Vandril. The Kaiweave line took hold of Brathlin's power in the 9th century, and the remnants of the Vandril line disappeared. It is rumored that they were exiled, although official records hold all names of the remaining few members as executed for treason. And then you begin looking through the lineage and stuff like that. There is a history of because I'm assuming you want context information. So you look at the Itiarantor as the journey that happened to Ailish originally, early on in this, like prior to this current age. So close to 13 to 1500 years ago, when the young son Urith Brylin of the royal line and a few ships of the Elysian elves, as they're now referred to, escaped during a time of strife. Actually, that would still work. They escaped during a time of strife from their home on Capsfer. The once great city of Aletheus where people believe and historians believe it once stood is now an inlet to the sea. It is gone. And no one is quite sure what happened to it. Stories about the day say the city vanished, that magics became unstable on the island, and the power ran rampant and wild, and the city is just vanished. That's how the elves originally came to Aelish, at least this, what is now Brathlin. They stayed with the dwarf and gnome clans of Houghton, and eventually, after they kind of settled, they decided to move to Brathlin and begin rebuilding their own kingdom. The land of Brathlin was mostly empty. The dwarves and gnomes did not want to cross the Glistening Channel, which is where you guys cross to get into Houghton, just because of trying to defend borders and stuff like that, and trying to like actually hold territory. So they allowed the elves to basically take over across the river, and start rebuilding their house. There is stories about how Amathor was built and what Urith did and his lineage, but you go back further because you don't necessarily care about what's expanding currently. Eventually, the main line of Bryland, the monarch did not have an heir, did not want children, so that the royal line was supposed to pass down. They didn't really have a way to deal with that. So these two off branches, like of different parts of they were part of the line of Bryland, but they had to take different names because they were basically like cousins of the main line. And that's when that civil war happened. You also learn that it seems that the Golden Eyes, the line of that, seems to have started to die out several thousand years ago. The last known the last recorded line was almost of myth. It's so far in the past, and it's hard to have records here of that far back. You just have vague names and stuff like that. A lot of them have been lost to time, because there seems to have been some, like, this is like a lot of different books. Like, you get that little bit from one book and that causes you to dig into other books, and like, so you've like, your desk is just filled with different texts where you're gleaming like just like a little bit here and a little bit here, but the role is basically you putting this information together from like a variety of different texts. It seems that at one point in the past, long ago, before like where we're at now, you guys have already been kind of made aware that there was a war that happened that destroyed a lot of just what was once Veshtir and other worlds of existence, and really like did a number on the cosmos in general. There's not a whole lot of information about different worlds and stuff, but from this there are still myths and stories about that historians are starting to realize might hold truth to them rather than just be these mythos, just by discovering like different like artifacts and stuff of like ancient civilizations basically. And like one big indicator was that many people believe the sealing of Zix to be a story, but it has been confirmed that there is some kind of giant demon frozen in a glacier. And so they kind of extrapolated that some of these stories might be true because that ties into Yang Chi Kin and the Raven. You dig into the Raven story and different connecting pieces. It seems that the Raven was originally of the blood of Brylan. She was sister to the king of the time during this war, and was some kind of leader and general and like special ops, almost, basically like this kind of like all around like protector of Veshtir that kind of did her own thing outside of the royal line because she was not the heir to the throne. She was basically a branch family, at that point. And so she basically founded this, the Ardunists, this religion based around, it's not really necessarily like a direct religion, but like this worshiping and understanding of the ancestors and those who came before. And her line seems to have already been on Aelish prior to the other elves coming. But records are very sparse, and it's like there's a little bit on like they know that she had a kid because there's like mythos and lore in the Arduinis, like societies and covens. But actually no, because you would probably dig into the Arduinis part next, which as you begin to break, this is probably going to take you a couple days as you're kind of going through this now that I'm thinking about it. Because like basically like one lead is taking you to another lead is taking you to another lead. So you're putting all these pieces together and like you're only getting a brief amount out of each book. So when you pull apart the Arduinis book and you are specifically looking into this line, there are records-esque stories, stuff like that, of like the ancestor line of the Raven. And during, like, it's hard because like the records are not super clear, but like they probably keep well on track for 1,000 to 2,000 years before the line just vanishes. And there's a story about how basically the line was attacked by enemies of the Arduinis. Make a knowledge check for me. Actually, and Ghost, go ahead and make your research roll for me at 2. I'm just curious about some things. What do you roll?
Natural 20.
Okay. What'd you roll, Ghost?
Did as well, actually.
You did 2 natural. Are you serious?
I'm dead serious.
Adrian got me new dice for Christmas, and they roll fucking great.
Okay, so
How much did I learn from my book, Gavin?
go ahead and make a knowledge check for me, Roy. We'll get to your guys' fun stuff because I've been talking about this for a while.
Do I have a 20-minute thing on my book? Oh, it's a 4. That's a 4.
You're getting through it. It's definitely you've got some tears, coming in your eyes. Like it's really hitting home for you. It's definitely talking about like hobbies and stuff like that like really help people, like deal with these kind of traumatic events and like really gets to understand themselves.
Whittling.
Whittling.
So with double natural 20s, you and Ghost eventually come to the same point where you're basically reading the same book, which is that the Arduinis were attacked by the servants of Sazaroth about 2,000 years ago, who were going after the royal line, the line of the Raven, to try to break that because there was so much fear and power built within that historical line that they essentially attacked and tried to wipe out the line, and that's when the line disappears from history. You rolled 2 natural 20s.
Mm-hmm.
How about my 4?
Ghosts, the servants of Sazaroth we've already kind of covered, but they worship a demon lord named Sazaroth. So you get some history about the 9 demon lords created by Delios during this ancient war. And these demon lords were basically like rumored to be so powerful that they would wipe out entire worlds of mortals. With a natural 20. Oh God, this is you guys are getting a lot of good information because these paths kind of cross and converge here.
Yeah, I am.
So with a natural 20, you begin you dig into these, like, it's the same thing with you. You know, you're digging into these little things. There are like some obscure texts and stuff basically that are like extrapolating and theorizing that these demon lords are artificial creations, similar to these ancient god warriors, which are called primordials. And they seem to be potentially theoretically created by extinguishing life, by using the energy of death to fuel their creation. Sazaroth is the second of the 9. Hey, give me a second. Jesus Christ. Okay, hold on. I got these notes up too. I wasn't expecting that, to be honest.
Bathroom break.
So the 9: Sazaroth, Zix, Eildramor, Helsha, Reshtir, Dranon, Alis, Maris, and Lithine.
I was gonna take notes, but I don't know how to spell a single one of those.
That's fine. I can always copy and paste them to you too. There are brief instances of horror that are associated with those names, and there are many like in just like stories and stuff. They're used to they're like stories to scare children type thing. You know, like horror tales, but like almost like these like, you know, don't go outside at night, or like Sazaroth will come get you, or something like that. You know, they've been passed down in culture, but not in the way that they were feared at the point where you're reading. It seems that each of these lords had legions of demons that followed them, that were these twisted corruptions of life that they manipulated and changed. With Aralea, with your thing, and the Raven's line and stuff like that, it does disappear from history. But I gotta go find this too. With studying the Arduinus, you discover a few things connected to the Raven. One, her general powers and description. She seems to have been gifted with air and dark magics. To a point of power that is almost like literally mythical. She was a part of the sealing of Zix. There were a few other tales about her protecting and fighting off demon like kin. And you're actually the weird thing is you're finding tales from different cultures, because the library contains multiple different cultures. So it's not just Elysian and like different cultures that are around Aelish. Like there's stories from across the world, like pieces and glimpses of these stories that all tie back to her. She was a part of stopping the Screaming Swarm from overrunning Aelish. God, I can't believe you guys are rolling natural 20s. That's stupid. I was hoping to hold on to some of that stuff.
Sorry, bitch.
So you find all these tales and stuff associated with this, but you also find a familiar like poem about the Arduinus, and one specifically the Coven of the Raven. The child of black feathers will be born into the world in a time of crisis. Spurred by lost love, they will try to run from their fate. Pulled back by a deal that is not broken, they will dive into the darkness. Never being able to hide their gold, their blood will be spilled by those who seek restoration and power only after truth is revealed will they be able to open up the tomb of the true mother and take up the fallen mantle.
Very interesting.
All coming together.
It's like all these pieces.
Geometry.
It's like that meme with all the like the guy with like holding up and it's got the red like the conspiracy theories everywhere and they're all threads are coming together.
Yes.
You do get a description of the Raven too. She was rumored to have one gold eye, but she primarily wore a mantle of like a cloak of raven feathers that seems to be imbued with dark and air magic, and a mask that resembled almost like, you know how like some of those masks, there's like these masks that look almost like owl-esque. It was kind of like that, but with like black features and twisted a little bit more to look like a raven, but it was like this flat like owl-esque raven like mask that she wore.
Do those clothes sound familiar at all?
No, the mantle
Like
does
we've
not sound
seen
familiar at all.
them? No, it doesn't?
Mm-mm.
Okay.
No, you definitely have not seen that.
Okay.
Actually, hold on. Ghost, make a D20 perception examination check for me.
Natural 30.
Well, that's an 18 without bonuses.
Well, might as well be.
Because your
so
paths
perception is 1, so 19.
So since your paths are crossing, you guys kind of like are like digging through these books almost simultaneously together. As you're reading this, and there's like a brief like rendition drawing of it. Ghost, you have been part of the Lamrick Foundation for quite some time.
Yes.
There are a lot of mythical artifacts that the Lamrick Foundation holds. One of these legendary artifacts looks a lot like what's on this page.
Okay.
It is sealed behind several vaults and stuff like that. You've only seen it because basically you're high enough up in the organization that you know this vault exists, and you've been shown that these are things that are not allowed to leave the Shadow Council's eyes. So,
Oh, okay.
Keep
let's
that to
see.
yourself then.
Hold on. I believe Nick, you had a few things you wanted to look up.
It might. I'm not sure if it's. Oh, there goes my stuff.
Ah! We're under attack.
I'm gonna hit the streets
Okay.
to ask about Blaze.
Okay.
Try to go
Sure.
into the richer districts.
So you've already attempted once, so I will give you that attempt will be counted. So the difficulty will be lowered because you've
Yep.
already tried. You've gained some information. Go ahead and make a D20 gather information check from speech.
Okay.
That's a
Damn
lot.
it! Yeah, it was on a 19 and then.
Okay.
Welcome to my world.
So a natural one is another failure. So you gain nothing. You don't even make the difficulty easier for tomorrow because you gain so little information that you basically are just running in circles around town. Okay. So Airlay and Ghost, you guys went through basically a lot of your stuff. What I gave you is basically a lot of what I have because you both roll natural 20s.
Y'all tapped out, is that what you're saying?
No, I'm just saying that you gain so much information that would take multiple days to discern and decipher and put together. So I'm going to take 3 days of your time. So you have 3 days left if you want to help Nick with stuff. But Nick, you'll have rolls. Ellie, we still have rolls to do. And Roy, you'll finish your self-help book within another day. So it's up to you what
How
you
long
want.
is this fucking book?
It's good. It's pretty long. It's pretty detailed.
I think,
Muted again, Olivia.
And Ghost is gonna go check on Roy.
Okay. So Roy is got
So
other
I
books
close
around.
the book. Like, I know all these spear formations already.
Need to talk about something? You doing
No,
okay?
Think
Like-
so. What do you find any interesting stuff out
Roy, I know what you're reading.
about spears?
What's going on?
I don't know. I was kind of on a mission to go do something, and kind of just realized that I like where I'm at. But I also don't know what to do, I guess.
Who's to
I
say
really
you
know
can't
exactly who I want.
fulfill your mission that you're out to do, and stay where you're at?
It seems like my mission is pretty fully. There's no reason to go for that object that I was searching for, and in finding it, I'd go back home, and I don't particularly want to go back home at the moment.
Okay.
So I'm just kind of, figuring some stuff out.
Sure.
Seeing what I want to do. Seeing how I can be more helpful.
Well, if you ever need to talk, I'm here for you.
You could give me
Just
new
know.
dice.
Shit, where do you get your fucking demon dice at?
Be helpful.
At the shop in Iowa City. It's,
Same, but like they did me dirty.
They've always done me dirty.
Just
Shout out
hold
to-
on. Shout out to Hobby Corner in Iowa City.
Yeah.
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 But just a context for our viewers that will be funny. So Marcus and I, when Olivia and Marcus started first playing, and some of our other friends started first playing role-playing games, and I was DMing, I went and got them all a set of dice for like a present of
Thanks,
like,
Dad.
hey,
They're the best.
like welcome
But
to
they're
welcome
shitty.
to role-playing. Marcus was so excited to test out his dice that we got out to my car and he's like, I've got to check it out. So we cleared out a cup holder and he rolled his dice, and the first roll he got was a natural 1.
It's a true story.
And it's a dead true story.
Very true story. I returned to those dice. No, I did not, but
Should have.
I now have 5 sets of dice, and they all fucking hate me. So
The journey
It
continues.
was honestly the most funny thing I've ever seen in my life.
I've already been known for rolling like shit.
So,
Like said.
do you guys
So-
want to have any more of that conversation, or do we want to get to more downtime stuff quick? You're muted, Ghost.
I'm not muted. I
Oh.
sometimes whatever.
Okay.
I'm probably gonna start also researching like architecture
Okay.
to see if that castle that Oathbreaker has been or told us to go do. See if that is like any information on that.
Okay, yeah,
Like
sure.
a scouting type thing.
Okay. Yeah, you want to basically like look up research facilities and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
Okay, so let's go ahead and do some quick downtime rolling. So Aralea Ghost, you have some time. You're working on your thing that I've spoiled, like gave you everything of that I have, or mostly, everything that you could glean from the library. Ellie, why don't you give me another blacksmithing roll for me as you continue to work on this project?
Blood, sweat,
Feel
and tears.
slots.
Okay, it's each time it just only gets slightly better, but that's a 13.
Okay.
But I guess I could use my skill slots for
Mhm.
the day because I'm not fighting anyone, hopefully.
Yeah.
So let's just go ahead and add 3 to that.
So you have 6
Suddenly
skill
you're-
slots available.
I have 3 skill slots.
So it's
It's
plus
half.
1
Two
per
per.
2. So you can add +1
Oh.
to the roll.
Okay.
So
14.
I'll take
14.
I'll take that into consideration for the last couple days too. So probably about the third day you finish like smithing the great sword. It's not bad. Like even though like it took you basically the blacksmithing
It
rolls
sucks.
but basically the rolls are how long does it take you to like work through this, right? So it's more about time rather than like quality. It's not like a masterwork by any means, but it's definitely functional. And on the fourth day, like Simon is not like it's not like you impress him with your talent in blacksmithing, but he's satisfied with this enough to show you what he's gonna do for the enchanting portion of the weapon. So, because this is definitely going to be a good moneymaker for him. This is kind of like what he wanted you around, and obviously you can do more work for him, but I know you have stuff that you want to and get to, and we can do those rolls after we do this. So he starts going through, I gotta find it. He starts explaining to you, like he sets the sword on this table, and he starts pulling out different ingredients, specifically a lot of different gems, and some of them are glowing in different ways. But it seems like he pulls out quite a few rubies, a few like more dense, like gray, like quartz like crystals, that are like almost like they almost look like stone, except that you can tell they have crystal formations. So this right here, and he pulls one of the gray crystals. Each element we use to craft and create and make things that are new, they hold properties within them. So he kind of like goes through the metals with you a little bit. So like gold and silver hold different properties of power that they can be more of a conduit for and strengthen weapons in certain ways if they're forged into a blade properly. But where it gets really interesting is when he starts talking about like the enchanting side of that, like going through I gotta look up my properties. So each item holds multiple different properties, and he pulls out a ruby. So rubies, they have, things of like density and power, but specifically they also hold remnants of fire in them from the red coloration. And he puts a ruby and he starts like crushing it down into dust. Like he starts grinding it basically. And so we can use these things of power, of fire, of protection, strength, many different stones have multiple that we can pull from. And he begins like kind of like almost painting with it like runes on these swords, or on the sword here. So first I will do the enchantment of fire. The client doesn't want something too intensive, too great. They just want something where it can draw in some heat and it can output that same heat. Okay. You see these like he almost etches like very carefully on one side of the blade with this like ruby dust, these glyphs around on throughout the blade, and with some power from his hand, he almost looks like he's channeling like the properties of enchanting. You do not need magic. You do not need to have your own internal power. You can draw from the environment around you. And you watch as like the runes on the table kind of start to glow, and the red ruby dust glows a little bit, and it starts to sink into the blade.
Holy shit.
And like it basically like it disappears. So it looks like the blade looks like it's a nicely new forged blade, and he takes it and he kind of shows it to you.
I like so close to it.
And he and then he's like, watch. And he dips it into the forge. Like he puts it into the flame of the forge and pulls it out. and you see across the blade the runes light, and then he swings it, and as he swings, a light burst of flame comes out of the blade.
What?
So
The fuck?
next, any like, you can incorporate multiple enchantments into one weapon, but each one makes it more difficult to add the next. I started with the flame because it's more complicated, but if you're skilled enough, you can essentially make anything, as many as you want. We could increase the power of this flame more to intensify even more, or even make it glow with flame or absorb ice, do other things. We can do multiple things with the same weapon, but again, it takes time and it takes resources and power. So he flips over the sword and he begins to take the quartz, like the gray, like stone, like quartz looking stuff, and grind it down. This is mostly like a base stabilizing, strengthening element gemstone. It uses its power. There are other things we can use it for, but its primary power is just this base strengthening element that we can do to weapons to make them, a little bit more sturdy. They're harder to break. Their blades stay a little sharper for longer. And he begins to like take it and paint. There are different runes on the other side. I mean, he could do it on the same side, but he's going to the other side of it. Okay. And the same thing, the gemstone almost like sinks and melds into the blade. And he takes it. Now, if you were to take a normal blade and swing it against a hard stone with your full force, it would chip potentially. It could snap. It could break. And he takes it with two hands, overhand swings it, and slams it into like the stone of the floor and pulls it up. The blade gleams, still sharp as ever.
Damn.
There is great power with enchanting. But again, it takes time and it takes resources. Like, this is like over the course of like, it's not just like he does this instantaneously, right? This is over the course of basically the entirety of the day. And he already knows these, like, he's already practiced these specific recipes before. Like, he's already done this type of enchanting before. So it's much faster for him.
Gotcha.
Now, I know that you were interested in some things. Would you like to we can experiment and try to do something. I can help you, and we can try to do something like what you requested, something new, something different. I've made some enchantments that deal with sound and silencing, and obviously I've dealt with some that absorb magical energies or even natural energies. So we could work towards that. I have a few ideas, and he starts to like lay out basically sheets of parchment with like different like runes painted on them, or like runes like written on them, and like materials that are required and stuff like that. So I'm gonna, give me a sec. I have this here somewhere. There it is. So I have a couple ideas but I want you to be the primary source of this development if you want. Here's this one, and he puts it forward. This could potentially be once per day. You could take, I'm assuming, and he points to your axe. I'm assuming you want to enhance this one. Yes?
Oh yeah.
Okay. So with this, and he points at the runes and stuff like that, a lot of it is hard for you to really comprehend at the moment. Like, it's still it's like so much fresh information that it's like difficult to like understand everything, but with his guiding hand, it'll help. This once per day you could use to suck the innate magical power out of a person hit with it. It does not, at its base level, at its first, it would not leave them necessarily like completely empty, but it would definitely tax their magical power. And this is one that I thought would be interesting. You talked about silence and it's since many casters use words of power to attack and use magic and spells, this you could create a once per day for a short period. You could create a sphere of silence around you where all noise dissipates and no noise can enter. In a nearby to the weapon. Or, and he puts forward this other one. This is a little bit of a it'd be a little bit harder. It would take some more time, but it's a similar to what the flame enchantment does that I showed you. But essentially, if you were to be in battle and you were to have this axe, the spell would hit you and the blade. You would still feel like if you were hit with flame or something like that, you would still be hurt. But part of the damage could be absorbed after the power of the magic can be absorbed into the blade. And then like this, it would redirect it with your next strike. Do any of these interest you?
Wow. You've been busy. Wow.
Thanks. Thanks. We spent a lot of time working on this episode, okay?
Number three. Well, number one sounds like you hit them and what is it? Just like
it drains.
Take away their spell slots or something?
So the first one is of spell drain, the second one is of silence, and the third one is mage slayer. So one of them drains, one of them silences an area around you, and the other one will absorb part of a magical spell. So you'll still take part of the damage, and then it's half damage of the spell, and then your next attack can redirect that damage back at the target. So, at whoever you swing your axe at. So, like, if you were to hit by a fireball, it absorbs part of the fireball, and then the next attack, like Fifi, would glow with fire, and it'd be the damage type. Oh, sorry, hold on, let me make sure. The first level of it would just add that type of damage into your swing. So it doesn't deal extra damage, but it changes the type of damage that you deal, which basically if you deal mixed damage, it goes through whatever resistance is lower. So like, let's say you get hit with flame and then you attack Nick, who doesn't have any resistance to fire, but has resistance to slashing. So your damage would be slashing fire. It goes through his fire resistance, which is lower. So he has less protection against it. And that's how it would work against like enemies and stuff like that. So like if you were to, and that can be, these can all be powered up as you go. To be higher levels of these enchantments, but they would take, these are basically the bare bones basic versions of them. So like eventually it would absorb and then you could deal the extra damage with it. Or you could potentially even absorb all or get more uses, stuff like that. So it can be like crafted into different variations depending on how you want to go about it.
That's pretty cool. And then the second one is just
it basically creates.
You can't speak into existence, but what about people who can cast spells without even speaking because they're so good?
So
they're so good,
Yeah,
it essentially.
Harry Potter up in this shit.
Well, I mean, like some spellcasting is basically like hand motions, or speaking. It's some kind of. You have to have some kind of focus to channel that's obvious. Basically, hands can glow with power, stuff like that. What this would do is it would create a dome of silence basically around you that would block all noise for basically 2 turns within 15 feet around you, and it would stop any spell casting. So they wouldn't be able to channel magic, basically. Because it's technically the status effect silence, but it blocks noise. That includes allies. So if like Aralea is standing next to you and you activate it, she can't cast magic.
Oof.
But it's a 15-foot dome sphere around you. So it's basically, it'd be like on a battle map, it'd be 3 squares in any direction.
So what was number 1 again?
Shut up! I hate you.
Just kidding.
I hate you. I'm getting clarification. This is important.
I'm just asking for a friend.
I hate you.
I
Go
don't
read your
think Parker
self-help
was paying
book.
attention. I will.
Good.
So which one would you like to try? I mean, if you don't like any of these, we can do something else. But these are based on the designs that you brought to him, like what you kind of wanted to have happen.
I feel like I like 3, but don't like it sounds cool, but I don't like in battle. I want like the thing I was picturing is like I hit them with it and and it just kind of either sucks away their magic or like counters their magic or whatever.
That would be closer to the first one.
That's what I was thinking, so I'm gonna do that one.
Okay. So what we're gonna do is he's gonna walk you through it and help you with it. Basically, this is basically like you getting paid. He's giving you the materials to work with and stuff like that. So it'll probably take the rest of your downtime to do this because you'll be working on like trying the enchantment and stuff like that. So he basically starts pulling out a few gemstones. The properties, so I still need to build some. I'm still building the crafting system. But like the properties are like properties of sound, properties of like anti like reversing or no, sorry, it'd be I was thinking of the second enchantment. The first enchantment would probably be the property of like draining decay, stuff like that. And then the other one would probably be the property of like arcane. Mm-hmm. So you probably have like a purple like amethyst he'd probably pull out, and then like almost this like this blackened, sickly, like dark, slightly glowing that almost seems to suck like light into it a little bit. It's got these weird combinations with it that it definitely does not look like like the first one. The amethyst looks like a natural gemstone. The other looks like it's been artificially induced with magics. And he kind of goes through and explains a little bit of like some properties can only be built artificially. Examples would be like, or if they're not artificial, they're difficult to find. So like blood is a property. It's difficult to find natural occurring blood properties because basically they have to be absorbed or like drenched. So like maybe in long like battlefields that were long fought, you could find properties of death, decay, and blood. But that's very rare because it has to soak up a lot. So a lot of what's artificially made for like blood is like a diamond is placed in like a basin of blood and allowed to just basically spend like significant amount of time until it starts to absorb that property. So like some things can be like artificially made.
Right.
So let's get some fun stuff.
What if it soaks in like my spit for a while?
Stop spitting on shit.
All right, Ellie. This is going to be your roles for working through the enchanting, and he's going to be helping you. So I'll give you a +4 to every roll from him assisting you with it.
Don't fuck it up, bud.
Okay, so it's good. It's a
enchanting. Yes, it's an artisan enchanting roll, so it's a +2, I believe, for you.
Yes. Okay.
So first roll.
Just it loves that 7 today, so 7 plus the 4, 11 plus 2, 13.
Okay. So you guys begin working through the enchantment, and you are having to test and bend. Like these aren't necessarily like a thing. He has some knowledge of it, but like because you're new to this, you're having to like test and try If it fails, it just kind of wastes the material. It doesn't like break your weapon or anything like that. It's like kind of like the material doesn't quite soak in properly, so like it's cleared off. So that does not pass.
Okay.
So
You just wasted all that time.
go ahead and make day 2. So you have a few
Okay.
days that this is working, and like you're getting better with it over time. So like doing the same recipe is kind of like making you like, oh, okay, that doesn't work, so let's try this today.
Don't fuck it up, bud.
Oh my god. It's a 3. Can I re-roll? Careful hands.
You can use careful hands. This is a skill check.
Come on, you son of a bitch. 5. Fuck. Oh my
Okay.
god.
The
So
third
plus-
the third day. That's definitely not high enough. to
Okay,
pass.
yeah.
Here, do you want my dice?
You do have the plus.
Yeah.
You can add the +1 as well. So
That's true.
from the skills,
Okay.
and you do have careful hands, so you can re-roll.
Last day. Let's go, boys. That's a 7 again. I think my dice are weighted. And that's a 10. So that's
10
high.
might be high enough. So 10
16.
plus 4
Plus 1.
plus 2 plus 1
yeah.
is +7.
Yeah.
So 17.
So 17 total
Plus
is
20.
is enough.
Thank God.
So you start you finally on the last day you have Fifi there. Many
How
attempts.
much
and stuff
shit
like that.
have we blown up in the past couple of days?
You've wasted a lot of like gems, like crushed gemstones and stuff, but like these gemstones are not like necessarily, they're precious stones, right? But they're not like cut, so they're a little bit less expensive. It's still a pricey endeavor. He's definitely like, from the materials he's wasted helping you learn this, he still has probably made like a little bit of profit on the sword you made and helped like enchant and stuff like that, but it's minor.
He's like,
now.
not worth it, not worth
It's
it.
it's very minor. There seems to be it seems like Simon is like really liking having someone around to help and work with and stuff like that.
Aw.
You would know that in the future, were you to try enchanting and stuff like that, obviously it takes time. It's not like an instantaneous thing that you do. And you would need a place to work from. So currently you basically have like a standing offer to help Simon, and if you help him, he kind of lets you use his workspace and some of his resources and stuff like that, depending on what you make and how well it is. But as the last day comes, you paint, you use this like basically like this fine, like it's like a brush basically to pick up the crushed stone pieces, and like these are kind of like mixed, like you've mixed different gemstones together into this powder because it's a little bit more complicated, and you kind of like use it to carefully like paint up Fifi's like handle, and like into like it kind of curves up the handle, like the top of the handle, and into the blade, and like down, almost like this like arching, like it almost looks like an R if you were looking at it directly from the side, but like kind of like arches over and like blends into the blade and curves down the edge of the blade. This time the dust is actually like takes and it soaks into the wood and the handle and stuff like that. Sorry, I'm like looking at my thing, and there's just like this sense you have almost that it's just like it thoroughly takes. And as you pick up the blade, or Fifi again, you can feel this strange sense, like this strange connection and tug. And as you like focus, the runes on it ignite, and they're like this like gray and like almost like this gray black like swirl, and they like glow as you focus, and like while you don't have anything to swing at,
Simon.
they slowly drain, and you get the sense that you know how to activate this power in Fifi. So once per day, so this will be something you'll have to keep track of. You may, when you make a successful attack on a target, You may choose to activate the ruins and drain 1d6 spell slots from the target.
Sweet.
They are not drained into you because you don't have spell slots anyway, but even if someone else was to use them, they're basically like you're not destroying them permanently, but like you're ripping away part of their magic and just sending it off into like the air so they can't use that power anymore. So technically Fifi is Fifi of spell drain now.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Phoebe has a title.
She's famous, yo.
And that's kind of how enchantments will work too. Like as you like add them, they'll like mix and merge together and make these titles and stuff like that.
Cool. And obviously, I can down the road upgrade that ability to drain more and more and more.
Yep. You could increase it to drain more. You could increase it to instead restore. So drain and then restore into you. That'd be like switching the enchantment a little bit. Potentially with more uses per day too, up to a limit. So there's like there's probably gonna be a cap on how many times it can be done per day.
Oh, sweet.
So
it's exciting.
Yeah. So
cool. Love it.
You can also do other enchantments and stuff, but like basically the concept is like each enchantment makes the next enchantment harder because you're like you have so much space on a weapon, so like you have to basically more intricately detail these runes in and almost like in and out of each other to make sure that the connection is not broken.
Makes sense.
Okay.
Cool.
So
we did it.
You did it. Nick, go ahead and make some information checks for me. Is there anything like you two are going to be done? Is there anything else you want to look up? I know you had some stuff, Nick, that I'm sure other people would be potentially interested in as well.
Honestly, I'm blanking right now on what those would be.
So you wanted the primordials and
Yep.
the three sisters.
Yep. Blaze is kind of my priority right now, so finding any info I can on him first.
Well, I'm saying that I don't know if that Ghost and Arrowlay have anything else to do. Unless you guys want to like just hang out the last couple days. But I don't think they have anything else on their list. Unless there's new questions you two have got and that you want to look up. I think you're muted, Autumn. Oh, I can't hear you.
Sweet.
Oh, there we go.
There you are.
Yeah, you are.
I mean, there is the other thing that didn't really get touched on.
Which is that?
The magical significance of golden eyes.
You get the sense from your research that the significance is the royal blood.
Okay.
They're kind of tied together. That's when you ask those questions, I was like, they're kind of the same reason. So
I didn't know.
Yeah. So yeah, from your research, you would glean that they're basically the significance is the royal blood of Brylan that has essentially died out of what the current royal line is.
Okay.
Before I forget, I would like Roy to send a letter to Twiddlewink.
Okay.
And tell him to go find Ula and where to find her, what to say to her when he gets there, and so on.
Okay.
Eat shit and die. Send.
So you get the letter sent out. I mean, you guys could have done that at any point during the week.
I know. I just wanted it to be said out loud.
Okay. Go ahead and make a gather information check for me. You've got a few days more.
Come on, you.
Aren't you supposed to be becoming the manager of beef?
There you are. Okay. That is a 23.
That is plenty. So there's a few things you learn. You learn exactly where his home is. It's in the the southwest side. Not like there's a district that gets closer to the castle. That's where like really rich people live. But it's like it's in the nicer part of town.
Yep.
You learn that he drinks 3 nights a week at a bar called The Grasp. And that he's pretty regular there. And that's the one time he kind of leaves his house other than for like other like maybe parties or stuff like that.
Well,
The grasp.
grasp. Okay.
You, with the 23, you know where the grasp, like you basically walk the streets, you know where the grasp is, and you know the location of his home. So you could easily have a path between the two of them.
Okay.
So do you want to go any further with that? That would be day 3 for you, so you have 4 days left.
Honestly, we probably need to wrap up for now and hope and catch back
No,
up. Let
I'm-
Eldora and do some stuff as
No,
well.
don't worry.
next-
I've got that. I've got a plan. I know what's. I'm well aware of the time.
Yeah. Oh shit. Have the nightmares consisted through the week?
Yeah, you have a few here and there. They all have similar themes. But the biggest theme is these strings that are attached to you.
All right, then we'll keep going with bad choices.
Okay.
Let's go to the grasp.
Okay.
One
So,
night.
so while are you bringing anyone with you when you do this?
Sure. Let's bring the group.
Okay.
Say, I know of a nice new tavern on the expensive side. It might be fun to wreak some havoc.
Okay.
Who are
So
you? What?
Called beef.
Are you the manager?
Not yet.
Oh. I'm down.
this would be like a nightcap for one of you. It wouldn't take away from your guys' downtime. So, so you guys will be going. You're going to go to the grasp. This would probably be partway through the week. We'll get to that. Let's just see. The last thing. We'll get to that next time because
Yep.
we don't have enough time. That's a whole extra thing.
Yes, it is.
Right.
The last thing is Ellie, during the middle of your week, you have a strange dream.
Oh,
You seem to be looking into a mirror. Although
oh God.
the feature
It's hideous.
the features of the one in the mirror, there's no scar. The hair is different. It looks like you, but also not like you.
Like the hotter version of me.
Yeah, kind of. I mean, there's features of like this gnome is definitely very attractive.
Okay.
You go like like if you were to touch the mirror, how the hand would come and meet you. Your hand passes through. There is no like solid barrier there. And
Okay.
like you can this figure stands before you, and she kind of like pushes your hand down, and she gives you this motherly smile as she kind of touches the side of your face.
So I'm touching my face.
Yeah, the image is touching your face.
Okay.
You are in danger, child. They will be coming for you. You are immediately with the hand. You see like this dark room with 1 to 1,000 red cloaks, and blood seems to drip from their eyes and the corners of their mouth in these twisted smiles. And you see a familiar image of a woman in red sitting on a stone throne.
This bitch again.
Your blood can give her what she wants. Be careful. And that's it. That is where we're going to end this episode. You guys got a lot of stuff. It went a little bit longer than I expected, but...
I have a headache. Too much
Yeah.
info.
That was a lot.
But that's going to be it for this episode. We will be back with episode 16. We'll find out what happens at the Grasp. We'll hopefully have Eldoran back next time so he can do some downtime stuff. And we'll see what the rest of this plays out. So, see you guys next time.
See y'all later.
If you like this video, don't forget to subscribe. You can follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. And our core rulebook is free to download at www.realmsasunder.com. All the links are in the description below. Thanks for watching.